Hello everyone, you're watching Variety Television and welcome back to another Pikmin video. Today we're going to do something a little bit different than what we normally do. Instead of making a theory or even building our own Pikmin game, we're going to be taking a look at a few things that I personally find creepy throughout the Pikmin franchise. I'll have to admit this would have made an excellent Halloween video, but I did not think of it then, so I'm going to start with the most obvious thing, and the thing that I think we probably all think of when the words Pikmin and creepy are used in the same sentence, the Smokey Prague. Since I think we're all a bit familiar with this enemy by now, I don't want to linger on it for too long, but there is one interesting thing that I would like to mention about it, and that is the element it uses to fight. From what I remember, there is only one other creature capable of utilizing this element, making it almost exclusive to the Smokey Prague. The element is Gloom, that smoky red stuff, and it's capable of killing every single Pikmin type instantly. I think the name of the element, along with how it works, is meant to be a clue. Maybe it's called Gloom because it's made out of something that brought people sorrow in the past, or maybe it's called Gloom because of the dread it brings you when it's used to wipe out your entire Pikmin squad. I guess naturally, I suppose we should follow up an enemy with another enemy. This one I don't personally find creepy, at least on its surface, but when you kind of get down into it and think about it, it is a little unsettling. That creature is of course the Water Wraith. The whole gimmick with this enemy is that you can't harm it by normal means, however it will not hesitate to roll over you and your entire Pikmin squad. However, it isn't this thing's appearance or the fact that it cares very little for the lives of your Pikmin that make this thing unsettling. Rather, it's the Piklopedia entry, where it is stated that the Water Wraith's main form could potentially lie in another dimension or plane of existence. Pikmin 2 set up the idea that the Water Wraith was a rather unique enemy, but Pikmin 4 showed us that there are many of these things. But even if it's not exactly a ghost, the idea of multiple otherworldly beings coming after you, and the fact that they might not even really be defeated when you defeat them, does make this creature a bit unsettling. I also have some honorable mentions for creepy enemies, starting with the long legs creatures. First, they don't have eyes, which is weird, and also many people are afraid of spiders, making these ones, I think, at least worth mentioning. Lastly, for the creepy enemy honorable mentions, and maybe this one is just me, the jelly floats. Jellyfish themselves do not have brains, and they don't think, so they just drift aimlessly through the ocean, eating whatever they can get their stingers on. Jelly floats are pretty much the same thing, but they can create vortexes to pull you in, and they can fly. Also, I doubt it would distinguish its prey either, and probably would just eat anything it came across, as it floated through the air. Moving away from enemies, I would now like to mention a location that honestly creeps me out the more I think about it, and that is the hero's Hideway from Pikmin 4. This location is not creepy in appearance or atmosphere whatsoever. However, it is creepy when it comes to context, clues, and lore. Throughout the game, Olimar uses the safe in the house as a base of operations, and although the house does seem slightly disheveled, it doesn't seem to house anybody other than Olimar. It doesn't matter how many days we spend on the planet or whether we visit the house during the daytime or nighttime. No people or pets will ever be spotted in this house. Setting gameplay reasons aside, this has some pretty creepy implications. I have seen a lot of people suggest that the reason there are no humans in the house is simply because they're on vacation, hence the luggage in the living room. However, I think if we really stop and think about that, it doesn't really make sense. While people do typically pack luggage to take with them on vacations, they don't typically pack things that they intend on leaving in their living room while they're gone. It's possible they planned on bringing that luggage with them, but never got the chance. I truly do believe something happened to the people who lived in that house. While there aren't exactly signs of a struggle in the house, I think it's worth noting that some pillows have been thrown off the couch, the stove was left on, and the freezer was left open. Like, I don't know, maybe a nuclear disaster happened and they all had to evacuate suddenly and they accidentally left some of the things they wanted to bring with them behind. The last creepy thing I would like to mention is not an enemy or a location or anything like that, but rather a possible time that you can explore. And of course, I'm referring to nighttime explorations, but do not worry, I'm not about to just say that it's because it's dark. The reason I think nighttime expeditions are creepy is because of the atmosphere that they are able to set up. For starters, it's dark, like I just said I would not say, but also it's dangerous because there are a lot more enemies around than during the daytime. This already makes nighttime much more stressful than the day, but to add on to that, the enemies are much more aggressive at night, and all of them are on a mission to destroy you and the Luminol before morning. The music also really adds to the atmosphere of nighttime explorations, as it changes depending on what's happening. At higher difficulties, nighttime explorations are actually pretty good at instilling that feeling of just needing to survive until morning. Also, circling back to the enemies that try to hunt you down through the night, included in that group are giant versions of the regular enemies, the previously mentioned Longlegs, and the previously mentioned Smokey Prague. Okay, that is everything that I specifically wanted to call out, but there is one more broader topic that I wanted to talk about, and that is the entirety of Pikmin 2. Honestly, I don't think any other game is as good at making you feel unsettled as you play it as that one is, and that is part of the reason that I enjoy Pikmin 2 so much. We all know one thing that's common across all the Pikmin games is the lack of humans, but Pikmin 2 really nails in this idea with its treasures and locations. Not only are these things familiar to us, but they're also often in states of disrepair, including the locations that we see. Many of the metal structures we see are rusted over, and many of the treasures that we find are either rusted over or lost very deep underground. Despite there being talking characters in Pikmin 2, I think it is even better at giving you that feeling of eerie loneliness that the developers wanted Pikmin 1 to instill. To add on to all of that, I have a personal issue with the difficulty of Pikmin 2, which makes it all the more tense while I play through it. So, there you have it. That was a few things that I find creepy from the Pikmin franchise. Honestly, I had a lot of fun doing this one, and I would really like to make another one of these, so if there's anything that I missed, or anything that you personally find creepy, please let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. I think that's all I've got for this one, so stay tuned. Variety Television will be right back.